Okay, sorry about that. I didn't have my laptop plugged in. So, as I was saying, there's the glass and the mosaic glass, and they put it into the wall at a very slight angle so it catches the light. And remember, this is before electric light, so this would have been lit by candlelight. And these mosaics are really amazingly beautiful, and we'll see them used really quite extensively throughout the Byzantine world and the Byzantine art. We're not going to see that much fresco painting until late Byzantine, and we're not going to see sculpture, and I'll be explaining why we have a lack of sculpture at this time in just a few minutes. So here is a close-up of another mosaic from Ravenna. And we have the image of Jesus as the shepherd, which is a well-known biblical image. He's supposed to be like leading the flock. And we have him shown here with the halo. We recognize him as Jesus. Put it away. And this is bringing us technically what I just showed you is supposed to be Catholic art, Christian art. But then we come into what becomes known as the early Byzantine art. But we'll see great parallels between these two, especially with the use of the mosaics. And as I've already explained to you, Justinian is really known as, one of the really great rulers during the Byzantine time period. So we say this is really the golden age of Justinian. And I have some videos up on Justinian, so please watch them. And the one thing that he really is known, like his claim to fame kind of thing, as far as architecture, is this building. This is known as the Church of Hagia Sophia, and it would be in today Istanbul, then it was Constantinople, and it's built between the years of 523 and 537. I read that wrong. 532, I'm sorry, and 537. Okay, so I also have a video that explains this. It's a very interesting building because historically it was first an Orthodox church, then when Justinian built it, then during the Crusades it becomes a Roman Catholic church, then it goes back to being an Orthodox church, then when the Ottoman Turks come and take over, it becomes a mosque. Then for many years it was a museum, and then just last year it became a mosque again. So the videos I have up are not up to date. They say it's a museum, but very recently it became a mosque again. So those of you that are Muslim might recognize right away that it has minarets on it, which are used to indicate the different times of the day that one is to pray towards Mecca. So this is something that was added to the building. These minarets were added to the building when this was converted into a mosque. But this part of the building is all original. And it's quite amazing. Probably the thing that should stand out the most to you is the huge, gigantic dome. And the only other building that we've looked at this semester that's really been a dome is the Parthenon, right? So we have a dome in that building, but this is even a larger dome. And so this is quite amazing in this architecture. Another thing that makes this really amazing is when we look from above, we see that the dome is round and it's sitting on a square base. So this was hard to do because, figuring out how to do this is a challenge. You're going to have this kind of section over here that doesn't fit on quite right. And in fact, it's a number of domes that create this building. So we have something that gets invented called a pendentive. And the pendentive is the connecting piece between the dome and the square base. And then we have this idea of the oculus, the opening into the heavens. Oops, sorry, wrong direction. And here's even a better example of that. So we have our pendentive, and then we have our dome. Okay, so we are up to, so I was showing you, here's a better view of the pendentive, and we have the oculus. So this should be reminding you again of the Pantheon in Rome. And here we have the inside of Hagia Sophia, and it is an amazing, amazing building. You can see from this how massive this dome is. And I have some interesting videos about this up, so I really want you to watch the videos. The stuff that I just can't show you. You have to be able to see it even in the one little cartoon thing I put up, because as I explained, this changed from a church, Orthodox church, to Catholic, Roman Catholic, to back to Orthodox, to a mosque, to a museum, to a mosque. So there's all this layering of art in this building that is quite interesting. So it's hard to see here, but there is an image of Mary holding Jesus here. And then you have Arabic writing here. And then up here, instead of an oculus, you have up in the dome. We can only imagine that there was probably at one point a picture here relating to a biblical image, but it has been covered over with Arabic writing. And then instead of a clearer story, you have this massive row of windows. And this, in essence, makes it look like the dome itself is hovering. The ceiling of the dome is hovering above the space, like it's suspended, and the light brings your eye up into the dome. It's really quite amazing. And then just look at the sheer size of this when you look at the people walking below. So it was really an amazing undertaking by Justinian. And the gold that is gold leaf on here, and all of the marble and everything was brought from all over the empire to create this building. I also have an acoustic sound for you that was done of Gregorian chants in this space. So you might want to listen to that. It's really beautifully, it just sounds so beautiful, and it really gives you a sense of the echo effect within this space. Now we'll go back to Ravenna. So we're moving from Constantinople back over to Ravenna, but I'm going to stop this here.